Some songs entertain, others change music forever. In 1975, Queen released a track so bold, it defied every rule. Bohemian Rhapsody was part opera, part rock anthem, part mystery, and completely unforgettable. No chorus, no formula, no compromise. It didn't just top charts, it tore through expectations, redefined the single, and made the world feel something deeper. This is how one impossible song became a global legend. When Freddie Mercury first introduced the bones of Bohemian Rhapsody to the band, it didn't look like a song, it looked like a theatrical experiment. Scribbled lyrics, dramatic tempo shifts, and classical influences weren't exactly what rock radio was built for. But Mercury didn't aim for radio. He aimed for greatness.
Are you ready? Hey, are you ready?
He fused three distinct styles: a piano-led ballad, a full operatic interlude, and a thunderous hard rock section into a seamless 6-minute journey. There was no chorus, no repetition, no formula. What emerged was a single piece of music that broke every rule and yet felt completely whole. It wasn't just creative ambition, it was personal. Mercury poured cryptic, poetic lines into the lyrics, leaving interpretation open. The song felt like confession, performance, and opera all in one breath. It was art disguised as a rock song. Queen's bandmates trusted him, and because of that trust, they helped bring one of the most daring compositions in music history to life. Recording Bohemian Rhapsody wasn't a session, it was a saga. Over 3 intense weeks, the band worked across multiple studios, layering sound on sound. Nearly 200 separate overdubs were recorded, especially for the operatic sections, to create a choir out of 4 voices. The technology was analog, the process meticulous. Tape reels were stretched to their limits. Each vocal line was recorded again and again until it shimmered like stained glass. Brian May's guitars were layered like orchestras, and Roger Taylor's high notes pushed the mix into the heavens. They were making a song that couldn't be performed live in full. But that didn't matter. They weren't chasing stage hits, they were building something eternal. The complexity of the production showed Queen's commitment not to simplicity, but to craft. Most bands feared overcomplication. Queen embraced it. They turned excess into elegance, and the studio into their greatest instrument. When the song was completed, record executives panicked. 6 minutes was far too long. Pop songs were supposed to be under 3, maybe 4 minutes. No one believed radio would play a song this long and this strange. But Queen didn't wait for permission. They handed a copy to DJ Kenny Everett in London, who began spinning it on his show. "I'm not supposed to play this," he teased, then played it 14 times over a weekend. Listeners were instantly hooked. The calls flooded in. Public demand skyrocketed. Suddenly, the same stations that refused to touch it were begging to get it on their rotation. The song became an underground sensation turned mainstream obsession, not through marketing but through raw audience response. The industry learned something that weekend. Sometimes the public doesn't want familiar, they want fearless. How far would you go to be heard? Bohemian Rhapsody was officially released in October 1975. From the moment it hit the shelves, it flew into the #1 spot in the United Kingdom. It stayed there for 9 consecutive weeks, breaking records and changing expectations for what a hit could be. No gimmicks, no giveaways, just the power of the song. In the United States, it climbed into the top 10, making it Queen's first major American breakthrough. It became a defining moment not just for the band, but for rock history itself. It wasn't a seasonal hit or a trend-driven favorite. It was something else entirely, a track that didn't belong to one moment, but all of them. Its blend of drama, vulnerability, and grandeur gave it an almost cinematic quality. People didn't just listen to it, they studied it, lived inside it, memorized every shift. It wasn't just music, it was experience. Queen didn't just break rules with the song, they reinvented how people would see music. With no time to appear on television shows for every promo spot, the band filmed a video for Bohemian Rhapsody. It took 4 hours to shoot and cost less than £5,000. But what they created changed the music world forever. Using lighting effects, fades, and those iconic mirrored faces, Queen delivered a visual companion that enhanced the song's drama. The video didn't just fill a gap, it created a new format. Until that moment, music videos were largely live performances caught on tape. Queen's version was something else. It was storytelling through visuals, emotion told in lighting, mood set through angles. It foreshadowed the entire MTV generation years before it began. Without trying to, Queen invented the music video era, a 4-minute film that made the song unforgettable even before you hit play. In late 1991, as the world processed the devastating loss of Freddie Mercury, something extraordinary happened. Radio stations across Europe and the United States instinctively turned to Bohemian Rhapsody as their soundtrack to mourning. The song re-entered the cultural bloodstream not as a hit, but as a eulogy. For fans, this wasn't just a re-release, it was a farewell letter. The song, once cryptic and theatrical, took on new meaning in the wake of Freddie's passing. Every falsetto, every scream, every lyric now felt like a premonition, a glimpse into the soul of a man who gave everything to music. In the United Kingdom, Bohemian Rhapsody shot to #1 again, 16 years after its original release. It became the first and only song to top the UK charts twice by the same artist, with the exact same version. This was no remix, no tribute cover, just the original masterpiece, embraced once again by a grieving nation. There was no promotional campaign, no tour, no television appearances. The song climbed on emotion alone. People found themselves revisiting the track not for entertainment, but for comfort, because in Freddie's voice, they felt both the weight of loss and the power of legacy. This wasn't just chart success, it was cultural canonization. In the moment of deepest silence, the world turned back to one song and found him still singing. Then, barely a year later, in 1992, Bohemian Rhapsody exploded once more, but this time, the reason was joy. In a low-budget comedy called Wayne's World, a group of misfit friends crammed into a car and lip-synced the entire 6-minute epic while headbanging to the final guitar solo. It was absurd. It was hilarious. It was unforgettable. The scene didn't just steal the movie, it reignited a love for Queen across an entirely new generation. Teenagers who had never heard the song or thought of it as old music were now buying the single, quoting lyrics, and learning every word. Suddenly, the anthem of grief became an anthem of fun. In the United States, Bohemian Rhapsody surged into the Billboard Top 10 once more, becoming one of the rare songs to chart significantly in 2 different decades for 2 completely different reasons. From mourning to comedy, from loss to laughter, the song proved it could carry any emotional weight. This moment wasn't just a resurgence, it was a rebirth. The fact that a 6-minute rock opera could succeed in a pop world dominated by hip-hop and grunge spoke volumes. It wasn't nostalgia driving its return, it was timelessness. And with that car scene, Queen wasn't just back, they were immortal. Bohemian Rhapsody had become more than music. It was now pop culture DNA. Fast forward to 2019, and Bohemian Rhapsody did something that no other classic rock track had managed. It became the most streamed song of the entire 20th century, racking up over 1.6 billion streams globally across platforms. A song born in the era of tape reels and radio bands now ruled the age of algorithms. It wasn't just that people were clicking play. They were returning over and over, sharing, quoting, reacting, remixing. TikTok edits, YouTube covers, video essays, and karaoke videos flooded the internet. A track once deemed too strange for radio now fit into the fast-paced digital world like it had always belonged. Younger audiences weren't just tolerating Queen, they were falling in love. For many, Bohemian Rhapsody was their first introduction to classic rock. It had become a generational bridge, linking parents, kids, and even grandparents through melody and drama. Streaming didn't dilute the song's power, it amplified it. Freddie's voice was heard in more bedrooms, on more playlists, in more cars and headphones than ever before. He wasn't fading, he was multiplying. In a world of skippable tracks, Bohemian Rhapsody was an experience no one wanted to interrupt. It outlived vinyl, CDs, downloads, and now it rules the infinite scroll. Recognition for Bohemian Rhapsody has never faded. Over the years, it has appeared on virtually every major list of the greatest songs ever written. Rolling Stone ranked it number 17 on its 500 greatest songs of all time, a staggering placement for such an unconventional track.
Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? I stand in the lead.
But rankings can't contain what this song is. Critics have called it ambitious. Fans have called it transcendent. Musicians have called it untouchable. It's studied in music schools, analyzed in documentaries, and revered by guitarists and vocalists alike. The structure of the song defies imitation. Its operatic middle section, harmonic layering, and emotional arc are unlike anything else on radio or record before or since. Bohemian Rhapsody is often referred to not as a song, but as a composition. Even today, no artist has truly attempted to replicate its formula, not because they can't, but because it's sacred ground. You don't remake Mount Everest, you just admire it. It isn't just great, it's mythic. A song that came from nowhere and now lives everywhere. Untouchable, unrepeatable, and forever at the top. Do you remember the first listen? All the accolades, all the re-releases, all the streaming success, none of it compares to what Bohemian Rhapsody achieved in physical sales. In the United Kingdom alone, it has sold more than 6 million copies. It is the best-selling UK single of all time, not tied to charity. That statistic becomes more impressive when you realize how it happened. It wasn't just one peak, it was decades of steady love. People kept buying the song on vinyl, then cassette, then CD, then digital download. It refused to be buried by time or trend. Every copy sold was a person saying, "I need to own this. I need to feel this." That kind of connection can't be marketed. It has to be earned over time and through honesty. Bohemian Rhapsody never played it safe, and it's that bravery that made it timeless. Even in a world now dominated by streams and subscriptions, its physical sales remain untouched. They are proof that some music is not consumed. It is cherished. It is, and will always be, the song that conquered sound, space, and spirit. Bohemian Rhapsody was never meant to follow the rules. It broke them. It bent radio limits, shattered expectations, and soared through decades without ever losing its magic. This wasn't just a song, it was a revolution dressed in harmony. From grief to joy, from vinyl to viral, it never stopped speaking to us. If this journey through Queen's masterpiece hit a chord, don't forget to subscribe. Because music isn't just about what we hear, it's about what we feel, remember, and carry with us. In some songs, they never stop echoing.